we're going to be dealing with one of the 12 tribes of Israel. To put it back in perspective, shortly after the flood in the days of Noah, God called a guy named Abram and changed his name to Abraham and said, I want you to come over to the special land I'm going to give you. And the children of Abraham are going to do three things for the world. You're going to bring the world the Messiah, and Jesus came through this guy. And you're going to bring the world the Word, and most of the Bible is written by one of these descendants of Abraham. And you're going to be a model nation. This is how it ought to be. I'm going to give you my laws of how you should do it, and everybody else should copy this and model that. And so some of the laws are specific just for them, and they wouldn't apply to anybody else. Some of them are universal application. Thou shalt not kill. Don't steal. Don't lie. Those are all universal application, and most countries model their laws after the laws that God gave to Israel in the Ten Commandments. Okay, so after the flood, which is here, this red and white line, you got Noah and his son Shem and all these guys down here. Then you get down to Abraham, right there, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob has 12 sons and one daughter. One of those sons, Joseph, gets sold into slavery by his brothers. Now, he's the last guy that we have any dates for as far as, how old he was when he died. If we had more, I would make the chart go further, but we don't know. So we got to stop there. But we do know that he was the vice pharaoh, Imhotep, and we know that from secular history when that was, so you can calculate the age of the earth based on these first, whatever it is, 20 generations. Okay, so Jacob gets married to 4 women and has a whole bunch of kids, 13 kids. 2 of them, Reuben and Simeon, are going to be talked about in this story tonight. Another one, Joseph, by his other wife, Rachel, had a little brother named Benjamin. Joseph is the one that all these guys sold into slavery, down into Egypt. While he's down there, he became the vice pharaoh, or whatever they call him, okay? So he's going to be, that's what the story takes up. Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said, now hold it, it's calling him Jacob. Didn't God change his name? What did God change his name to? Israel. Jacob means the trickster, the old man, and Israel means the new man, the good guy, okay, prince with God. But watch how in this chapter, chapter 42, it switches back and forth between Jacob and Israel. Same guy, different personality. Jacob said to his sons, why do you look one upon another? He said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence. Now, Lady Di, we have to go, 60 miles to Sam's, 70 miles to Sam's to buy groceries. He's telling his boys to ride a donkey or to walk beside a donkey for 500 or 600 miles. This is a grocery trip. Okay? They're going to go try to get supplies for a year. You got these boys all married and a bunch of kids. Probably, later when they all move down to Egypt, there's 70 of them. So you got the 12 boys and their wives, and that's, and Joseph's already down there. So a bunch of little kids. So he said, Dad says, hey guys, I want you to go shopping in Egypt. Yeah, right, Dad. 10 days walk, sure, 20 days, whatever it is. Anyway, verse 3, and Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt, but Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren. For he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn. There's the switch. Jacob sent the boys down, but the sons of Israel came to Egypt. There's probably a real story behind every switch in all through the Bible between these two. Came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and it was told to all the people of the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came, and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Hold on just a minute. Didn't Joseph prophesy this like 13 or 14 years earlier? Joseph dreamed a dream and told his dream to his brothers and said, you guys are all going to bow down. I saw the sheaves all bowing down to my sheaf. Here it is 12 or 13 years later, and it's happening. They're all bowing down. And Joseph, back to 42, Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. This and the next chapter are very amazing, how that Joseph is going to test his brothers to see if they've really repented. Some people will say, I'm sorry, and they're not really sorry. You parents know about that. You tell your kid, you go tell your brother you're sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, you're not. Whack, whack, whack. Now tell him you're sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You got to get their attention for. You don't have any kids, do you, brother? You do? So you know, huh?
He's About his age.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, about his age.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but he spake roughly to them. He's going to test them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them. And he said to them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons, we are true men, thy servants are no spies. And he said to them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. For 12 years they've been telling this story. 13 years they've been telling this story. One of our brothers, actually, this has been 20 years. 21 years. Because he was 17 when they sold him, 30 when he became vice pharaoh, and they had 7 good years. So for 20 years, and now this is the first year of the famine. For 20 years, they've been telling the story. Oh yeah, one of our brothers died. You tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, you start believing it yourself. Yeah, one of our brothers died. They did it to the boy, okay? And he's standing in front of them now. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother. And ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into ward. He put them in jail 3 days. This is interesting. What had they done to him? They put him into slavery for life. He puts him in jail for 3 days, gives him a taste of what he's gone through. For 13 years he was in jail, okay? That movie we saw, let's see, 6, The Mark Unleashed, was classic. They filmed it in a real jail, just almost exactly like I was in the last year in Milton, Florida. It's very well done. Okay, and he put them into ward 3 days, and Joseph said to them the 3rd day, This do, and live, for I fear God. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you. So he put him in prison. And Joseph said unto them, That it is that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Am I going backwards here? Yeah, okay. 19. Wait a minute. F is forward. R is... reverse. Okay, got it. You'll get old and senile one day. Then we'll laugh at you. Okay. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. So instead of sending one back to get the brother, he says, Okay, I'm going to keep one and send 9 of you back. Bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother. Now they're talking about Joseph. They're talking among each other. They don't realize Joseph understands them. In that we saw the anguish of his soul. I'm sure when they were throwing that 17-year-old kid down in the well, he's saying, Please, brothers, don't do this to me. We saw the anguish when he besought us. That means he begged us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. You know, when you do something wicked, you spend the rest of your life worried it's going to come back to you. You're always thinking, when am I going to get paid back for that one? Every thief is always worried, when's somebody going to steal from me? I don't want to live like that. I just want to live peaceful, joyful, happy, simple life. I don't want to worry about something coming back to me. Therefore is the stress come upon us. And Reuben answered them. Now hold on, who's this Reuben guy? He's the oldest of all these kids, right? He's the one that knew what the mandrakes were. Yeah, that's old Reuben. Saying, Reuben is now with the group of guys down there to buy corn, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child? He's reminding them, guys, 20 years ago I told you don't do this to Joseph. Don't throw him in the well. And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. Here they are talking about what they did to Joseph 20 years earlier. He's right there listening to the whole thing. He's testing them to see, Have you guys really changed? Sometimes it takes people 20 years to change. Sometimes people have to get into real serious trouble before they finally admit, okay, I messed up, I sinned. What's it going to take? What's God going to have to do to you to get you to soften your heart and come back? I would rather keep a soft heart and say, Lord, I don't need to be... You know, when my kids were little, Kent Andrew, you know Kent Andrew, my oldest, he almost never had to spank him. The other two, every 30 minutes, you know. But when I would spank one of the other two, he would run him, sit in a chair, and fold his hands. You know, I'm being good, Dad. Yes, I know, son. I know you're being good, Dad. Just had a very different spirit. Just, you didn't have to break him. He's already broken. It was great. And they knew not, because he spoke through an interpreter, and he turned himself about from them and wept. But he's not ready to reveal himself yet. He's got to test them. And returned to them again and communed with them and took from them Simeon. Now, why did he take Simeon? And bound him before their eyes. So he got Simeon tied up. They watched him get thrown in the dungeon, chained to the wall, or whatever they did back then. And Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn and restore every man's money into his sack. Remember, Simeon and Levi were the two that went in and killed all the men in the city. Simeon must have had the hot temper. He picked Simeon to put in. How long is he going to be there? At least a year. They're going to walk all the way back home, eat up all that food, and have to come back down and get another year's worth of food. So Simeon's going to sit here in jail for at least a year. He said, I want you to fill their sacks with corn and put their money back in. And give them provision for the way. They're going to be walking for 500 miles or whatever it is, the distance, you know. Hey, give them a sack lunch to eat on the way, a big sack lunch. And thus he did for them. And they laded their asses with the corn and departed thence, and as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money. For behold, it was in his sack's mouth. Opened up the sack, oh no, here's my money. He's going to think I stole it. Now, their conscience is really eating at them now. Some people spend their whole life running from the law or running from what they're doing. They're always afraid they're going to get caught, always looking over their shoulder. Drug dealers are constantly in fear that somebody's going to catch them. Philanderers are always in fear somebody's going to spot them. People do wicked things and they live their whole life in fear and they think they're really cool. Ha ha, I'm getting by. They're always looking over their shoulder. You don't need to do that. Live a clean life. If I had it to do over again, I would. I would live for the Lord. I would have started earlier. I was 16 when I started. It's been 49 years. I'd have started earlier. No regrets. It's been, well, I've got a couple of dumb things I've done, but it's been great. I've enjoyed life. He said to his brethren, my money's restored, and lo, it's even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God hath done to us? That who did? God is getting us back. See, you can't hide from him. And they came to Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said to him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said to us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. It means you can come here and go shopping. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their fathers saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. Now, what's Jacob thinking about now? Jacob is remembering all the bad stuff he's done all of his life. Tricking his brother, tricking his dad. You know, the blind dad put the wool on his hands. When you live a wicked life, you spend most of your life worried somehow, someday it's going to catch up with you, and somehow, someday it will catch up with you. But if you don't live a wicked life, you don't have to live like that, worrying, oh wow, I wonder if today's the day. You don't have to worry about it. Jacob their father said, Me you have bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, Simeon is not, he's in jail, and you will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee, deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. In other words, you give me Benjamin, and if I don't bring him back, you can kill my 2 kids. Reuben, as many times as he messed up and fell into sin, he had a good heart. Down deep, he knew how to repent, apparently. Some people have they can do some really dumb stuff and still have a great attitude. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you have ever done that? Done something really dumb and still, down deep, you still got the right attitude. Lord, I want to serve you. Shouldn't have done that, but I want to serve you, Lord. Okay. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. His brother being Joseph. Joseph and Benjamin were full brothers. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. So the chapter ends with Jacob worried about sending Benjamin down. He says, nope, he's not going. You're not going to take him. We'll see in the next chapter, a year later, they're hungry again. And when people get hungry, things change. You change your promises. Many people promise, I'm going to serve God, I'm going to stay true, I'm not going to take the mark of the beast. You read Revelation chapter 6 very carefully and slowly. The wheat is going to be a penny a bushel, a penny a measure. So about 60 or 70 or 80 bucks for a bushel of wheat. Food is going to skyrocket. I'm talking, you'll have to, how many people today in the world, all of their efforts, they work all day long, very hard, only to supply enough food to eat that day. Like 80% of the world lives just hand to mouth, hoping they'll survive. How many people starved to death today? Probably thousands. It's coming, folks. It's coming like a freight train. It's coming soon. It's coming here. You can make a promise. Oh, I'm going to stay true to God, and I can make those same promises, but you do strange things when you're hungry. And they got hungry, and you'll see next chapter 43, he's going to give in and let him take Benjamin down there.